This has been a mess in the Republican Party right now. Representative Liz Cheney says she will do everything she can to make sure that Trump never again gets anywhere near the Oval Office. The Business Insider story. She's from Wyoming. On Wednesday said she's determined to prevent former President Donald Trump from returning to the White House. I will do everything I can to ensure the former president never gets in anywhere near the Oval Office. We have seen the danger that he continues to provoke with his language. We have seen his lack of commitment and dedication to the Constitution, Cheney told reporters on Capitol Hill. The comments came after Cheney was ousted as chair of the House Republican Conference in a voice vote on Wednesday morning. GOP members voted to remove Cheney from the top leadership post over repeated criticism of the former president in opposition to his lies about the 2020 presidential election. She was also one of the 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach Trump over his role in the Capitol insurrection on January 6th. Thoughts?
My thought is she's a liar, and I'm glad she's gone. And I say that from personal experience. I ran the investigative side of the president's rebuttal on the election. I saw the 3,000 affidavits from people that witnessed voter fraud, election fraud in 6 different states. She was never briefed. She was never interviewed. She never called us. She never questioned us. She hasn't seen one bit of evidence out of the outrageous evidence of voter and election fraud, yet makes statements like that. And for that, she shouldn't be in Congress.
I don't know Liz Cheney personally like you do. I don't know, or not that you know her personally, but and I've said this before. People are like, "Oh, the Democratic Party is falling apart. The socialists are taking over." But from my opinion, they'll at least coalesce during an election and come together. In my opinion, the party that is being fractured is Republicans. You have, what does it say? 100 Republicans, including former governors and lawmakers, are threatening to form a third party. These are people that were lifelong Republicans. The Bushes of the world, the Cheneys of the world, the George Wills of the world. We saw, how the Lincoln Project took over the
collapsed though. Didn't end well. Let's just
correct, but they did bring down Trump.
They did
from
but
the inside.
Democrats used them to bring him down, and then afterwards they crash and burn because they're no longer needed. They're the useful idiots, some call them.
Well, they knew what they were doing.
But the point is, some of them called them the useful idiots. They were useful when needed. The moment everything was accomplished, now it's no longer
fair
needed.
enough. But the point is that I'm trying to make is if there is the bigger division is definitely in the Republican Party than it is the Democratic Party right now. We'll see what happens in 2022.
I don't disagree with you. I'm actually on your side with this because this is – so you have to realize – if you knew how powerful Dick Cheney was,
he literally ran the show.
No, the guy is a strategist. He's one of the scariest guys in politics. The guy was a strategist. The guy was he was feared by his peers.
He's so powerful he could shoot his buddy in the face and not pay a price.
You can say that because that's actually a factual statement. Yeah. So can you imagine his daughter? She's got those genes.
Yeah.
The genetics of a fighter, the genetics of defending. And Cheney was whose VP? Cheney was
Bushes.
Okay, and the Bushes and Trump, how's the relationship? Did they go to dinner together at Mar-a-Lago?
Bushes and Trump's not good, so not so good.
What's up? Because
they're closer with Obama's at this point.
Of course. So the point is, you have to know where the loyalty lies, right? Where the loyalty lies.
It's like Cindy McCain
here's a question,
Meghan McCain.
Here's a question for you. Here's a crazy question for you.
Let's get crazy.
Sam, am I above my appointment?
You're 11:02.
Okay. So here's a crazy question for you. Republican Party. Say there's a split. We have a third party. I know we have like a few other third parties, whatever, independent, libertarian, green, all that. But I'm talking about like a legitimate 20%, 25% party, right? Mm-hmm. Which party is more like Ronald Reagan? The Liz Cheney, Bush, party, the what do you call it?
The conservative
Lincoln
Republicans,
Project.
Lincoln Project.
Do you think they're more like Reagan, or do you think Trump's MAGA party is more like Reagan? Who's more like Reagan?
More like Reagan?
Like Reaganomics, like Reagan, the way he ran America.
Trump.
Who's more like Reagan?
Trump's.
You think so?
100%.
What do you think?
I'm taking the opposite.
So let me. If you're listening to this,
yeah.
Thumbs up if you think the Trump is more like Reagan versus the Cheneys, the Bushes of the world are like Reagan. Thumbs up. It's more Trump like Reagan. Thumbs down if no. It's Bush, Cheney. Are more like Reagan. I actually want to hear your thoughts when you're saying this. So tell me why you say Trump's camp, MAGA, is more like Reagan.
Because he believes in much of the same stuff Reagan did. Smaller government. The Bush Republican Party is all about the swamp. It's all about the swamp. It's all the connections, the long-time connections of Washington, D.C. And look, I got to be honest. I followed this stuff for years. I never got involved as much as I did in the aftermath of the election. And there were people on the Bush side of the House, the Republican side of the House, basically saying, leave the election alone. Don't talk about it. Don't go public. Don't cooperate with them. Don't talk to the president's legal team. Why? Why not? What are you hiding? Or what are you trying to prevent from happening? The bottom line is there was overwhelming evidence of voter and election fraud. I saw it. I collected the affidavits. We interviewed hundreds of people. I got it. But why wouldn't you want that to come out? Why is it not okay to talk about it? They censured the president. They censored the president. They've censored anybody that goes on social media and tries to talk about it. For the people that were there, that saw what I saw, this is outrageous. And I don't give a shit if it's Republican and Democrat. I don't care. The bottom line is every vote should count, and every vote should be a legal vote. When you have 350,000 ballots that are cast between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. in Pittsburgh, and there's no Republican observers, okay, that's illegal. It's illegal. It's a fucking crime. When you have 150,000 cast in Philadelphia between 1 and 5 a.m., that's a crime. Why hasn't it been investigated? How can Liz Cheney stand up and say, it's all a lie?
What do you say to those who say, Bernard, this has already been addressed. It went to court. Even Georgia, the governor came out and he didn't do anything. Even, you can go to all
Here's what you say about the court issue. The court issue, and I'll finish with this one statement. The court issues, in almost every case, there was no they didn't find that the petitioner had standing, or they said it's a state issue. And you know what? They're right. Here's the bottom line for the people that were there. The Democrats stole the election. They infused ballots. They fucked with the machines. They had dead people voting in the thousands. They stole the election. But that is not why Donald Trump is not the president today. Donald Trump is not the president today because the state legislators in the 6 swing states certified false votes, and they knew it. And they knew it. They certified their election numbers in those states just to get it over. Why? Because they're a part of that Bush entourage, that Bush party. They hated Trump. They didn't like what he stood for. And they are the reason he's not in the White House today.
So you're saying it's the actual Republicans who are running those
100%.
states? So not even the Democrats? You're
100%.
saying, is it the Democrats or the Republicans that fucked Trump?
The Democrats stole the election, but if the Republicans did their job, if the state legislators did their job and did not certify those votes until there was a real investigation, you have Arizona right now. Right now, today, they're still in court messing with the audit in Arizona. You have the same thing going on in Michigan, in Antrim County, where they found the turnover of Trump votes to Biden. They found them in the machines. That stuff is still going on. The certifications should have never been done.
Let me ask you, and in the great words of Big Lebowski, it's kind of like your opinion, man. How accurate do you think you are?
But
meaning,
it's not,
like, are you 1,000% confident this is exactly what happened? Or it's like, look, I kind of think this is what happened.
I am 1,000% confident. You know why? Because I have the affidavits. I have the legal affidavits. They're sworn under the penalty of perjury. There's thousands of them. Thousands. What do you fucking ignore these people that were there?
So who do you blame? Who do you blame for all this? Because it sounds like you're blaming Republicans.
I am blaming Republicans.
Oh, my God.
I am.
By the way, say there's a third party. Let's break those two apart. Say there's a third party, okay? So
They're not winning.
No, if there's a third party, by a landslide, who wins?
Democrats. Not
By
even
a
close.
landslide.
Not
they
even
win.
close.
Or does, because it seems like the fear is so high that they're thinking Trump's going to run 2024.
Do you think he is? 2024?
I don't know
Place
yet.
your bets. 80% chance, 60%, 50?
80.
So
80 he
very
runs.
high.
Yeah.
80 he runs. Okay. Listen, if so many people are doing everything in their power to prevent it from happening, they're thinking very high likelihood he's going to be running, and they're scared. That's all I can say to you. And I don't know.
No.
Bro, if you're saying stuff like this is only stemmed from fear. What if this takes
They're
place?
petrified.
Yeah.
They're
You don't think this is
petrified.
coming from conviction
I-
and moral authority?
I do think it is, but the only reason you're putting so much energy into it is because you also believe odds are this guy's going to run. We cannot have this guy run, because if he runs, what's he going to do? What's he going to expose? What's he going to show? What's he going to revert back to? What's going to be taking place? What's going to be the next swamp? We're going to lose our deals. I don't know. So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.